What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to do a quick video on supplementation during contest prep. After this past week, made a big change up towards my nutrition as far as going into ketogenic lifestyle for the next few weeks. So my supplementation is going to definitely be adjusted just a slight bit. So I wanted to do a update video to make sure that you guys knew type of things that I take, just to keep you updated on everything on that. But I will throw something out there that nutrition and training are really the base pillars of what you should be doing towards making progress. Supplementation is about 1 to 2% that you are going to add to that regimen, because if not, it's all for naught and you're just wasting your time and your money if those things aren't on point. So without further ado, I want to go into the approach. So going from more of a flexible approach towards nutrition, if it fits your macros. We kept adjusting my macronutrients week to week or every couple of weeks. My body just adapts so quickly to change this prep that it's almost like frustrating because my macros were getting pretty low. So 150 grams of carb and 50 grams of fat and 200 grams of protein. If I continually drop that, yeah, my performance, everyday life is going to be kind of sad, but performance in the gym would be very hard to keep up as far as intensity goes. And yeah, we could taper back the amount of volume and frequency, but I really want to try and hold on to as much muscle as possible and the routines that I did to get to that point of gaining enough muscle in my building phase to start prepping. So we went to keto, so my macros right now are like 25 net grams of carb, 120 grams of fat, and 140 grams of protein. So it's on the upper limit of protein. We're just kind of playing around with it right now, just because if you're an athlete, you need a little bit more protein. Might be moderate keto, but so I did get a ketone checker for blood in the mail, and I'm on the lower end when it comes down to ketogenic, but I'm only 6 days into keto, so I'm like I was 0.7 this morning. So, and it's usually test low in the morning, so I'm hoping that it does raise as I test it throughout the course of the day. It is pretty expensive to run that test, but it makes sure, because the urine test is just not efficient when it comes down to it. So without further ado, I'm going to go into what I'm taking supplementation wise. So the first thing is, of course, creatine monohydrate. So the nice thing about creatine is it's cheap and effective. There's so much research around it that if you're not taking this, I don't know why you're not, because there's so many benefits towards it. The basic one is it just creates more, an environment where it has more phosphate groups to help out with your ATP system. So when you're working out, that short duration for explosive power allows you to get more phosphate groups, almost cycling through, so that way you can recover faster and be able to get more out of your workouts, basically. And it acts as a salt as well. It actually pulls water into your muscle to make it look fuller. Of course, there's other good things about creatine, but it's not about loading. You don't need to load. You don't need to do that. It's just about getting to 100% saturation. So I'm only taking in about 3.5 grams according to my body weight in kilograms. So the next thing I am taking is a multivitamin. So right now I'm taking ProLab's Energizer Multi. The reason why I'm taking that is because I do know a sponsored athlete, very close friend, family friend, Moji Alua, and the reason why I'm taking that one is because, number one, I know their product line, and number two is B vitamins, very important, especially when you are dieting and you are tired. So I do notice a bigger difference with the Energizer supplement, And then the next thing that I do take is I take caffeine. So once again, another ProLab product. But of course, you don't have to get ProLab or anything, but just know your sources when you're getting something. Caffeine, I don't really take a pre-workout, like a standard pre-workout. And course prep, I'm just kind of doing it more raw ingredients. But caffeine definitely is helpful, and my blood pressure tends to drop quite a bit during prep as I'm losing body fat. So usually it is like 115 over 70, 75, but now it's like 80, 85 or 90 up over 55, 60. So it's really low. So I do take caffeine just to help bring that back up. And then I'll go into electrolytes as well, because that plays in a role when it comes down to keeping your heart rate and your blood pressure where they need to be. So the next thing I take for joint health, glucosamine. As you get leaner, you just have less cushion in the joints. Things start aching, and I do find that is very helpful, not only in prep, but even in my building phase as loads get bigger or volume increases. It just helps out as an added support. Along with that, inflammation, very important to cover your bases. So I got turmeric. I couldn't find the one that has black pepper. It's like literally, it's like a search and a hunt to find something that has black pepper with turmeric. I don't understand, but the reason why I want black pepper extract in there is because it helps out with absorption of that turmeric. And I can't just sprinkle my foods with turmeric or black pepper because it's just not the right dosage. It would take forever to get that much. But that helps out with inflammation. So the next thing that I do take is carnosine, so beta-alanine and L-citrulline. The beta-alanine, as I do like hypertrophy work, my workouts do last longer, so I feel like, I know the research says it's all about, that is more towards, how long you're working out, or how long is a set, how long is it's more for endurance. But I feel like my workouts are like 90 minutes long, and then sometimes I have to do cardio. So I have noticed a bigger difference when it comes down to recovery, because it acts as a buffer. It's amino acid that helps out with lactic acid flushing, so it flushes out that, helps out with recovery between your sets, your reps, or whatever. And citrulline, it helps out, precursor towards nitric oxide, way better and more efficient than L-arginine. So when it comes down to electrolytes, so that's the thing, is when you are trying to get into ketosis, and going from a carbohydrate to a fat fuel source, that's a big change up for the body. You are asking your body to do something that it does not want to do, and it's not accustomed to doing. It will do it, it's just that it's so used to doing something that you've been doing for so long, and through that transition phase you can go through like the keto flu. So basically it's the signs and symptoms that you are transitioning into it, which is nausea, headaches, dizziness, withdrawals, hunger, fatigue. I mean, there's so many different things, but everybody experiences it a little differently. But to kind of negate that a little bit, my coach is very awesome. They gave me some recommendations around sodium, potassium, and magnesium, because these three electrolytes are very important, not only as you transition into keto, but as you are in keto. So electrolyte balance, not only for being in keto, is very important, but I'm trying to aim for 5 to 7 grams of sodium, which is way easy. I can do that way easy because I use chicken broth, or I use chicken broth or bouillon, and bouillon is highly concentrated. it's like 1100 milligrams of sodium for like half a cube. And then but it's so easy to get that pickle juice, you know, and salt in your foods, of course. But I am definitely not afraid of sodium. But magnesium, trying to aim for 500 to 1,000 milligrams as well. So that just helps out with GI motility, helps out with muscle cramps. People kind of tend to forget about magnesium as an important electrolyte, but it's part of the game. And you can get that through food, of course, but I supplement it just in case. So I got my magnesium. And then we've got potassium as well. So it's not just about sodium, it's not just about magnesium, but potassium plays an important role. And since I can't eat bananas, but you know, I do take in mushrooms. You can get it from red meat. You can get it from other forms of foods, but just in case, I do aim for the supplementation when I need it. So about 2 to 3 grams a day. And that's basically it. I don't have a whey isolate to show you because I wasn't taking one beforehand, but you know, the reason for a whey isolate is that, you know, it doesn't have sugar in it, no carbs in it, so it allows you to still get some protein if you really need to supplement with a protein that's quick and easy for yourself. But in keto, it just doesn't take very much. I mean, I was doing 220 grams of protein before going to 140. It's actually a struggle for me. It's weird for me. But having fattier meats and you know, going for high fat foods like macadamia nuts and all that good stuff, it's such a different feeling. But that's my basic supplementation. I got one more thing, just because since I'm going to be lowering my blood sugars, very effective supplement, yohimbine HCl. So the reason why I'm taking that is because as you get leaner, it's harder to and you know, you get the stubborn fat. So this just helps out with mobilizing it and allowing you, basically it just allows it to mobilize and transport, and you can actually utilize it as a fuel source. So when you're doing cardio, or you can even take it in a fastest state for strength training, but I wouldn't do that because you kind of need something in the tank for your training. But cardio wise, yes, and since my blood sugars are going to be really low, why not institute yohimbine HCl? And proper dosing is 0.2 milligrams times your body weight in kilograms. So it's about 6 capsules for me. It's like roughly a little over 15 milligrams. But of course, if you have any anxiety or sense of nervousness, you don't want to take that supplement, or you want to build up your tolerance and see where you are with a smaller dosage at first, because you can get the shakes. It's almost like a very uncomfortable feeling, but it just elevates those things to like 100%. So for me, luckily, I don't get those weird signs, those side effects. So, and since like I said, going keto, it's very easy for me to take this and not have any issues, because once you have something that has carbohydrates in it, it spikes your insulin, and that becomes it's not effective at all. So, but that's it. Those are the things I do take. And once again, that disclaimer of, if your training and your nutrition is not on point, don't waste your time with supplementation. Make sure you get the approaches towards your nutrition and your training on point first. Other than that, if there's any questions, by all means leave them in the comments below, and I will definitely address them on my next video. Have a good one.